the Rolex Explorer. So what I have is the 114270 for all you nerds. Mine was made in 04. Why that's significant to me is at the time of getting this, I had a 2004 BMW M3, the E46 M3 for all you nerds. And you know what this watch is? This watch is the E46 M3 of watches. And that is why I love this thing. It is a total sleeper. It's an if you know kind of watch. And that's what that car was for me too. In my ownership of that car, spanning years, I only had one stranger ever come up to me. It was in a grocery parking lot. The guy was clearly not a car guy. Gets out of his car, comes up to me and he goes, "That's a really beautiful car." It didn't stand out, it wasn't making a statement. It was just proportionally perfect. It had these lovely little fender flares on it. It looked muscly and sporty without looking like a Hellcat or some wild ride. That's what this watch is. It's not making a statement, it doesn't stick out, it fits into every situation. I travel with this, I swim with this, I renovate my home with this. Oh my God. I'm slamming yard beers with this with the friends. I think one thing I've come to realize with this watch is that it's a chameleon. It simply blends in with whatever I'm wearing. I could be wearing a t-shirt, I could be wearing a suit. It's not something that really draws the eye, it simply completes whatever you're wearing. If I was wearing a diver with a suit, it'd be a thing. But if I'm wearing this with a suit, it's just sleek. It just blends. So I have a theory. All watch enthusiasts have a prodigal son type story with Rolex. Hear me out. So let's use my prodigal son story with Rolex. I get into watches super young, instantly looking at Rolexes. When you think watches, you think Rolex, when you're just getting into it. So got into them, dug them, wanted one, couldn't afford one. So I started venturing into other things. You know, I got this Seiko 007, I got a Hamilton, I got a G-Shock like my dad always wore. And I loved it, and I started kind of feeling things out. And then I started just noticing that everyone was wearing a Rolex, and it seemed like everyone was doing it for the wrong reasons. It was a status thing, and I hated that. The story I think of is I come out of college and I hop on with this tech company that was just acquired. All of the higher-ups were gifted Rolex GMT Master 2s. So one day I was in the restroom washing my hands when the COO pulls up next to me, and I go, "GMT." And he looks at his watch, and he goes, "It's a Rolex." And I was like, that's what a Rolex owner is like. They don't know what they have, they're wearing it for all the wrong reasons. I don't want to be a part of it, I don't want to be in that camp. So I started looking elsewhere. I was looking at Omegas, IWC, you name it, anything but Rolex. I didn't want one, because I didn't want to be like that. So I went on my search, and nothing was revving me up. Nothing that I was like, I have to have that. Like that's me. And then I stumbled upon the Explorer. And that was it. This watch is an example of design synergy. There's not a single part in the watch that makes the watch. It's the combination of all the elements. But I'm going to talk through some of the elements of the watch that I think are, first off, 36 millimeters. Perfect for my breakable wrists, and dare I say, unless you're going to the moon or to the bottom of the ocean, spot on always. And then you have the subtle design choices such as the raised crystal, the hints of polished steel throughout the watch, which continually catch your eye and remind you to look down at that babe that's on your wrist. And then you have that uncluttered black lacquer dial. Clean, understated. I used to call myself a minimalist. I'm not. And neither is the dial. It's not barren, it's visually stimulating without being overwhelming. This is a great example of perfect design execution. Everything you need, nothing you don't. And the black lacquer dial itself is really something to behold, something you almost have to see in person, in the right light, at the right angle. Then you have the bracelet, that subtle taper. A taper can bring a bracelet from clunky to classy. If you're ever looking at a bracelet or a strap and you're wondering why it looks elegant, it's the taper. And then finally, you have that warm glow of Rolex steel. Sounds weird, I know, but it's a thing. I compare it to the difference between fluorescent lighting and candlelight. It's just warm, cozy, it almost just glows. So dramatic, I know. Prodigal son, if you know, you know. I know it's just a watch, but to me it's more like a sidekick that comes with me everywhere and kind of ages with me too. I think there's something cool about having something with you as you go on this journey in life. Having something that kind of resonates with you, that you see in every photo, that, you know, goes through all the good times and goes through all the bad times. That's what this thing is, you know? It's my homie. It's my ride or die. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have one of these, leave a comment down below. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your experience with it because I love my homie. I love my ride or die. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. And so I did come back. The sun has returned, and I'm in the club now. But you know what? I'm okay with that.